Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope your day and your week have been going very well so far. Got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. Got a nice little 5-leg parlay to go ahead and share with you guys in today's NBA slate. And guys, please make sure to go ahead and stick around to the end of today's video for a special announcement. Nothing too scary, just a little announcement about the scheduling of the videos for the next week or so. Now, I unfortunately was a little lazy yesterday with work and all, and I did not get my normal recap page done, but I don't want to just gloss over the fact that we did lose again yesterday. Definitely on a cold streak. We are very cold right now. This has been a rough week. We are 1-7 in single bets. We lost the parlay yesterday, so a lot of units lost this week. It's been a little bit of a difficult week. And then why am I doing a 5-leg parlay, may you ask, if I'm already on a cold streak? Well, I don't know. I just was going through and I found picks I liked, and I was like, all right, well, I don't want to cut any of these out, so we're doing a 5-leg parlay today. The only one that hit of this was Derek White, who had a massive performance last night for the Celtics. Besides him, though, none of these other hit. Buddy Hield, massive disappointment. Mikal Bridges, very close, but no cigar. So yeah, trying to shake the cold streak. We're not really, I know it looks like we're chasing our losses. We're not chasing the losses. It genuinely just was like going through the research. I knew I wanted to do a parlay today. Kept adding legs and adding legs and adding legs. And then before I knew it, I had a 5-leg parlay. And it's like, well, I don't want to cut anything out. I like all these legs. So you get a 5-leg parlay today and a 5-leg parlay tomorrow. You get a 5-leg parlay and you get a 5-leg parlay and you get a 5-leg parlay starting right now. All right, guys, jumping into the outlier screen. Obviously, only one game on tonight. We have Thunder Nuggets Game 6 in Denver, 8:30 p.m. tip-off. So obviously, all 5 legs are coming from this game. We're using FanDuel for the parlay, plus 450 right now. At the time of recording, we'll see when we finish up here what it'll look like. But first leg of our 5-leg parlay, we're going Isaiah Hartenstein of the Oklahoma City Thunder over 16.5 points plus rebounds. Yes, we're using alternate lines as well, so the data is going to be pretty solid on all these player props. This one, little heavy juice there, minus 280 on FanDuel. 8 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over, including all 5 games of this series so far. That's the important thing. 100% hit rate so far in this series against Denver. And even from a head-to-head perspective in general, he's cashed this in 8 straight matchups against the Denver Nuggets. So really good head-to-head data. So good. So far, so good in this series. I mean, even from an overall standpoint, an 81% hit rate on the season, 54 out of 67 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 21.7 points plus rebounds per game overall this year. So really good numbers across the board. Again, it's an alternate line, so of course it's going to be better. And we know Denver defensively down low, they've not been very good versus centers this year. 22nd in points allowed, 18th in rebounds. And even versus power forwards, they rank better. But we know Denver defensively down low, they've struggled. And again, Hartenstein so far in this series, a 100% hit rate, having really good numbers. And honestly, he's leaving some numbers on the table there. He could be doing even more, honestly. But having a pretty solid series across the board. So I think adding him the parlay is a pretty surefire bet. All right, guys, our second leg of our 5-leg parlay, we have SGA over 11.5 rebounds plus assists. This one's minus 230 on FanDuel. Another juiced alternate line, but not as bad as the last one. He's cashing 8 out of his last 10 games, averaging 13.1 rebounds plus assists per game over his last 10 games. And again, just like Hartenstein, 100% hit rate so far in this series against Denver. So 5 straight matchups against the Nuggets. He's cashed the over. The minutes are going to be high. He's averaging about 38 minutes per game in the series so far. But he's averaging 18.6 potential assists per game and 14 potential rebounds per game. Just the last game. Let's take game 5, for example. 15 rebound chances, and he had 12 potential assists. So 27 assists and rebound opportunities, and all we need him to do is get 12 in total. So I think it's a pretty good spot. The volume is certainly there. He's playing a lot of minutes. Denver versus point guards this year, they don't give a ton of rebounds, but they are bottom 5 in assists allowed. Despite that, though, you do see the rebound numbers are pretty solid. 10 rebounds in game 1, 4 in game 2, 13 in game 3, 6 in game 4, and 6 in game 5. So pretty good numbers across the board, honestly. Even from an overall perspective, a 51% hit rate on the over for the year for SGA, averaging 11.51 rebounds plus assists per game overall this year. And from the head-to-head category, including this 5-game playoff series, 9 of his last 13 matchups versus Denver, he's cashed the over. That's a 69. Quick little pause for applause. 69% hit rate in the head-to-head category, averaging 12.69 rebounds plus assists per game over the last 13 matchups. So pretty good numbers across the board here for SGA. And honestly, really solid player prop for the second leg of our 5-leg parlay. Whoops. All right, guys, our third leg of our 5-leg parlay, cruising right along with this parlay in today's video. We have Jamal Murray of the Denver Nuggets over 1.5 3-pointers made, minus 220 over on FanDuel for this one. And again, you see the kind of the theme here. All 5 games of the series thus far, he's cashed the over. So 100% hit rate so far in this series against OKC. So pretty good numbers, averaging 2.4 3-pointers made per game so far in the series. And he's playing, again, high volume, about 41 minutes per game. Now, the last game, he took 13 threes, shot 3 for 13. That's kind of abnormal compared to his normal volume of work. But you see, he's taking at least 5 threes in every single game of this series. And, obviously that last game kind of ruined his numbers. But you see 40%, 40%, 60%, 29% in game 1. For the most part, he's shooting the 3-pointers pretty well, pretty efficiently. And again, we just need him to get 2 here to cash the over. But the further you go ahead and stretch the data out, it's still pretty impressive. 7 of his last 10. He's cashed the over, averaging 2.4 3-pointers made per game over the last 10, which are now all playoff games, by the way. So far this year, a 62% hit rate on the over. 49 out of 79 games, including playoffs, he's cashed the over, averaging 2.37 3-pointers made per game this season. And the head-to-head category as well, including all 5 games of this series, 8 of his last 12 matchups versus the Thunder. If you narrow it down a little bit, actually, it's 8 of his last 9 matchups with OKC. He's cashed the over, averaging 1.83 3-pointers made per game across the last 12 against OKC. So pretty good head-to-head data. And again, 8 of his last 9, including 7 out of 8 this year. They played 8 times this season, including playoffs. He's cashed the over in 7 of 8 games this year. So pretty good head-to-head numbers versus shooting guards and point guards. OKC, they actually rank pretty well. And in general, they're 13th in the NBA in 3-pointers made per game. But 100% hit rate so far this series. Look at the insight provided by Outlier as well. Jamal Murray has exceeded 1.5 3-pointers in 5 of his last 6 games at home, averaging 3.2 3-pointers made per game over his last 6 home games. Look at the overall numbers at home this year. It's pretty solid, honestly. He's hitting it at a 63% hit rate at home this year. In 7 of his last 10 at home, he's cashed the over. So pretty good value across the board here on this Jamal Murray 3-point prop. I don't typically like to do 3-point player props. They remind me a lot of like touchdown props in the NFL, where it's like there's data to back it up and there's trends and patterns to back it up, but a lot of it just comes to how are you shooting the ball that day? Are you getting opportunities to hit threes? Are you getting opportunity to shoot threes? That's the big risk here. But I do think so far, again, 100% hit rate so far in the series, it's a good player prop to go ahead and throw in this parlay. All right, guys, our 4th leg of our 5-leg parlay, we have Jalen Williams of the Oklahoma City Thunder under 29.5 points plus assists. Very juiced here, minus 300 over on FanDuel. But the data is phenomenal. 7 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the under, averaging 27 points plus assists per game over his last 10 games. We do go ahead and look at just this series so far, this 5-game series up to this point. He's cashed in 4 out of 5 games, beside game 3 where he had a really solid performance, 32 points and 5 assists in that one. 4 out of 5, he's cashed the under, averaging 23.6 points plus assists per game across this series so far. Go ahead and stretch the data out the entire season view. 68% hit rate on the under this year. 54 out of 79 games, he's cashed the under, averaging 26.54 points plus assists per game overall this season. So pretty solid numbers in that, and also the head-to-head category, including playoffs. 9 of his last 12 matchups with the Denver Nuggets, he's cashed the under. It's a 75% hit rate, averaging 24 points plus assists per game across the last 12 matchups, which is interesting because Denver defensively, they're not that great. But look at the last couple games here. Look at game 4, 10 points and 5 assists. He's playing a lot of minutes, almost 36 minutes per game, but 2 for 13, 5 for 14. They're making things uncomfortable for him in terms of scoring. So really good numbers across the board here on this under. I don't like betting unders. Somebody in the comments was like, why don't you start betting more unders? Because obviously all the bets we've been losing are overs. My problem with unders, and this is why I have a hard time betting in the playoffs, is that when you have a volume like this, right? He's playing the 36 minutes per game, taking, if you look back down below at those numbers, right? He's taking almost 16 shot attempts per game. He's just not shooting the ball well. But if he had a night where he's just shooting even just 40%, he's cashing these overs. And that's the scary thing here. And that's why betting unders in the playoffs, yeah, it sounds so simple. You go ahead and bet a player who's playing almost 40 minutes a game and taking almost 20 shots a game is under. Yes, I get it. If he has a rough shooting night, you look like a genius. But betting unders in these playoffs are risky because every player has a massive volume. And not only that, they're playing to their maximum capacity. So that's why I get nervous with unders here. But I think the data supports this under in a lot of ways. So I like this as the 4th leg of our 5-leg parlay. Like, for example, the last game, Nuggets Thunder game 5, I was going to take Jokic's under because all the data supported the under. And guess what? Jokic had a massive game in game 5. So, that's just kind of the risk you take. And it's like, I don't know. I get nervous with under, especially playoff time. Regular season is a different story. But the fifth and final leg of today's parlay is Russell Westbrook of the Denver Nuggets over 2.5 assists. This is minus 215, probably the least juiced line of the entire parlay. Data is phenomenal across the board. You see 3 out of 5 games in this series so far, he's cashed the over, averaging 3 assists per game in this series. And we look down below at the volume here. He's playing him almost 25 minutes per game. It varies from game to game. But overall, pretty good numbers there. Pretty solid volume. He's averaging 6.4 potential assists per game. But that's because game 1, his volume was so low. He's now had at least 7 potential assists in each of the last 4 games. So we only need him here to get 3. So it's less than 50% efficiency rate. So I think it's pretty good numbers there. Again, he's getting opportunities, playing enough minutes, getting enough potential assists that I think it's a solid player prop. If you look at the overall numbers this year, an 85% hit rate on this over for Westbrook. 73 out of 86 games, including playoffs, he's cashed the over, averaging 5.69 assists per game this year. And even the head-to-head category, 10 of his last 12 matchups with his former team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, he's cashed the over, averaging 4.25 assists per game across the last 12 matchups. He's played them 9 times just this year as a member of the Denver Nuggets. He's cashed the over in 7 of those 9 games. That, of course, includes all 5 games of this playoff series so far. Solid overall data, solid head-to-head data, and so far this series, again, 3 out of 5 has cashed the over with a pretty nice volume. I think it's a solid, very solid final leg of today's 5-leg parlay. And guys, we just passed the 11-minute mark of today's video, so if you're still here at the end of today's parlay, please comment 11 down below. As always, guys, we appreciate those who watch through all of our videos here on the channel, whether we win or whether and lately it's been a lot of the losing side of things, but whether we win or whether we lose, we always put a lot of hard work into these videos, so we appreciate those who do stick around and watch through the entire video. So comment 11 down below if you're still rocking with me here at this point in today's video. All right, jumping over to FanDuel, quick little recap. Jamal Murray over 1.5 3-pointers made, or 2+ threes made, whatever you want to say it. Russell Westbrook over 2.5 assists. Isaiah Hartenstein over 16.5 points plus rebounds. Jalen Williams under 29.5 points plus assists, and SGA over 11.5 rebounds plus assists. You parlay all 5 together on FanDuel, you get a parlay of plus 451 odds. So really solid value for our 5-leg parlay. So guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. Now, I mentioned earlier in the video to stick around to the end of the video for a little announcement, so we are now at that point in today's video. Tomorrow will be my last video until Monday, May 26th. For the NBA, we will still have another video for baseball on Saturday. Unfortunately, no NBA game on Saturday, so no video for me on Saturday. So tomorrow's Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay will be our last video for over a week. I am going on vacation on Sunday. I'll be leaving for Myrtle Beach. I'll be there for a week on a golf trip with some buddies. It's our yearly tradition. If you guys watched the videos last year, I went to Utah last year for a week. This year, we're doing Myrtle Beach. So I will be gone for the whole week. I will receive the judgment. I know Ev, when he goes on his trips or vacations, he still does videos. I'm going to be in a house with over 20 guys. We're golfing all day, at the beach in the afternoon, all that stuff. There's the time for me to do videos. Our tee times are all like 7 a.m., 7:30 a.m. We're early out. We're going to be out all day, most nights going out, drinking and stuff. And I don't want to sit here and promise you guys something that's not going to happen. I don't want to sit here and say, oh yeah, I'll get videos done and whatever, and then, I don't do it. I hate doing that, because I do that sometimes, where I'll be like, oh, I have this coming out, and I don't do it. I don't like that. I don't want to make false promises. So I'll be taking a week off. I haven't had a vacation in a while with everything going on with work and whatnot. I think a nice little break will be nice for me. Come back recharged and ready to go. I know the timing's not great right in the midst of the conference finals, the start of the conference finals. But, what am I going to do? So tomorrow's video will be my last NBA video until Monday, May 26th. And then for baseball, Saturday's video will be my last video for MLB until Monday, May 26th. And again, if you guys aren't watching MLB, we're on a 23-5 run just since the last Monday, last 10 days, 23-5 run. So you should probably go ahead and check that out if you're not watching my MLB videos yet. But yeah, apologies. I know it's an inconvenience to you guys, although with the way I'm betting right now, you guys probably won't miss me all that much. But tomorrow will be my last video for over a week. So from Saturday, May 17th until Monday, May 26th, I will be out of the office. I will not be doing videos. So we got 5-leg parlay today, 5-leg parlay tomorrow. Let's go ahead and capitalize and make some units back here in the next couple of days before we head off for vacation. So until then, guys, till tomorrow, I hope you're all winners. Let's go ahead and make some money.